right, round two. I saw Valuetainment posted the whole podcast between Hafiz and Just Pearl, like the red pill debate, and that whole debacle that it was the last time. So I guess they're gonna have round two this time. And Pearl just released some snippets of it, man. And shout out to Pearl once again, bro. She is fucking crushing it, bro. But yeah, I definitely want to see what this looks like, man. This just says heated red pill debate, so let's get it.
I wanted to know, from a business perspective, would you encourage someone to sign a contract that the other person benefits from breaking?
From a business?
Yeah, if you took like from a business perspective.
So if I had a business partner who could break the contract, and then what does breaking?
And they would benefit. They could take your most valuable asset.
And
if they broke the contract, they could take your most valuable asset.
So if I signed a contract and my business partner can take my most valuable asset, I wouldn't sign that contract. Continue.
Okay, that's marriage today. If you believe your kids are your most valuable asset.
I love this.
And I think that's more of the red pill. Like, I would say that's more of why men are walking away from marriage today.
I love this. So let's stay here because this is a fantastic. So to me, the business analogy you gave was totally irrelevant to any form of marriage conversation, because here's a fundamental reality. If a man wants to have a child, whether he has a baby mama, whether he has a wife, whether he has a girlfriend, whether he has a fiance, whether he has a rando, if she wants to take away custody of the child under certain circumstances, she can. So what people in the red pill to me do is they straw man that. They say, oh, if you get married, she can take away your kids. But if you hook up with girl down the street, she has your kid. There's no chance of taking it away. And so to me, putting that on marriage is a false correlation. Putting that on the laws today. If you're gonna say the laws today, but that's not a marriage problem, because in the black community, 70% of people are born in single mother households. They're not even getting married in the black community, and that's a huge problem. So going back to what I was saying, my desire is to help build up society and to give men the tools to.
Hold on. I think what he just did was more straw man than what Pearl did, even though Pearl didn't include all of the consequences that derive from marriages ending badly that tend to harm the man more than anything. She just chose children as being like your biggest investment, man. But it's not just children, it's your liquid, you know what I'm saying? Your house, your money, your cars, all of that. You can throw all that into one big ball and say this is what men are at risk of losing if marriages do not work. But he wants to put all the weight onto kids, which is, there is some validity towards what he's saying, because women have the leverage in paternity court because there's so much gender bias there. But you saw how he threw in under certain circumstances. So like, once you say under circumstances, to me, like, everything you're saying from then on is essentially invalid. He straw manned it more than Just Pearl did. I don't think Just Pearl straw manned it at all. You know what I'm saying? But she just didn't include everything that happens from marriage. And you're going to sit and act like marriage doesn't come in, then you're out your mind, Hafiz.
Where your family doesn't end in divorce. But here's the reality. If you don't get married and you have a child, you've lost a child. There's no chance. And with going back to statistics.
What?
But here's the reality. If you don't get married and you have a child, you've lost a child. There's no chance. And with
that's cap. That's absolutely false. That was a bold-faced ass lie. That was a bold-faced ass lie. It may be just as difficult for a man to get the custody of his child as it would be for a husband to get custody of a child, because there's gender bias in custody and paternity court. But to sit there and say that if you're not married and that means there's no chance for you to get custody of your children because you're not married, that is a bold-faced ass lie.
Going back to statistics, if you do the statistics, if you prepare, there's no guarantee, but you greatly improve your odds so you can be like Pearl's dad and my dad to raise your child. But if you're just gonna if you're not gonna get married, it's not the case. So my question to you is, 63%, according to the Bureau of Labor statistics and also census data, we can pull it up later, 63% of men over the age of 15 have a child. So
Hold on, say that stat again.
So Natalia, you can go to the data real quick because I want to be able.
63% of men
over the age of 15. Scroll down. Purple right there. About 61% of men, 74.7 million men, ages 15 and over are fathers, and of those.
June 13th, 2019, about 62% of men, 74 million men. So I'm assuming that is because there's what, 300 some odd million people in America. So 62% of men in America, about 62% of men age 15 and over are fathers. That's crazy. That's a problem in itself. You having kids if 62%? God damn, that's a whole different conversation. There's no way in hell relationships are going to work if men are having children at age 15 in the year 2022. Those relationships are doomed. That's going to be a single mother and a single father. Like, shit ain't happening. And of those, 72.2 million men have a biological child. All the rest of them are like adopted or stepchildren or some shit like that.
72.2 million men have a biological child, according to the new Men's Fertility and Fatherhood 2014 report released today by the Census Bureau. So most men are going to be fathers. Most men want to have children. My question to you is, if marriage is a bad idea for men, what do you tell the most men who are going to have children? What should they do?
I don't give advice. Like, your channel's advice, Hafiz.
I'm asking you personally. We're having a conversation.
I know, but
I'm saying, I mean, that was a cop out by Pearl not to give advice, because this is the space she's in. So she's had enough experiences and conversations and things of that nature within this Real Pill space to come up with some type of solution for men. But it's like, the 15 is busting me in the face right now. Like, it's fucking me up. But when you're 15, you're not thinking you're going to have a kid. Those are clearly accidents. The question should be phrased for the men that want to have children. What do you tell them if marriage is not a goal for them? I have a solution for that, but let's see what Just Pearl says.
Personally, we're having a conversation.
I know, but I'm saying that I'm not an advice channel. I don't advise men on how to live their lives. What I'm saying is you should be aware of the laws today.
There you go.
And make a decision accordingly. And I think a lot of times, like, when the red pill will say this law, that law, this, like, girls are like this, and this. It's like, they're just warning you.
So
and you can do what you want with the information.
I love
so
it.
I'm saying it depends on the guy.
So my question to you, because I want to talk to H, not Pearl, the YouTuber. I want to talk to H. You know who H is. I know who H is. Let's talk to H.
What the hell are you talking about, dog?
She knows who H is. H. Okay. My question is, if a man came up to you, say, "Yo, I love your channel. I love what you do. I just want a piece of advice. I know marriage is a bad idea, but I want to have children. What can you give me any piece of advice? What would you give that man?"
Personally, I don't give advice, Hafiz.
So you tell him nothing, I
would say you should talk to the men in your life. Like, I just don't consider myself someone to, like, gives advice.
Yeah.
Like, that's not my channel. My channel isn't to, like,
you
advise.
as a person.
But I'm saying that's not me as I'm not giving advice.
He's trying to put her back up against the wall, and I don't like that, bro. I don't like that, though.
What if your son asked you that question and said, "Mommy"?
Talk to your dad.
Okay, I love it. So the point.
But it's interesting. Guys have a lot of interesting ways that they kind of try to get around it. So, like, one, I think his name's Aaron Cleary. I think that's who it is. He has his girlfriend pay the rent, and and they don't actually get legally married. So there's some law he can, like, avoid.
Wait, his girlfriend pays his rent.
Yeah, like, legally. So her name's on the lease and everything. So,
but then she can leave.
What do you mean?
If his girlfriend pays the rent and they have a kid, he can leave. She can leave. Same problem.
What do you mean?
So you said
no. I'm saying so she legally can't seize his assets.
But
in the case, that's what I was saying. So men have different ways of getting around the laws today.
I'm talking about the fatherhood thing, because your business example was losing your most precious asset. The most precious asset, as you communicated to me, was a child. So my question to you is that for men who want to have children, as most men want to have children, what would you say as an individual? So what happens, Adam, that I've noticed?
Man, you gotta find a girl that's willing to get on your page and have her aware of everything going on in society. And as marriage is concerned, put what you know about it into her so she can understand where you're coming from, man. Because this whole idea of marriage save all, you don't need marriage to sustain a nuclear family. Marriage is just a title, right? You can have a marriage type of relationship and not include the institution of marriage within your relationship that's going to more times than not harm the man if the shit goes south, right? Or come up with your own institution or your own process to facilitate marriage if it's that important to you. But this whole idea of marriage is the end all, be all, die all to sustain the quality of life for a nuclear family is just nonsense, bro. If the man and woman plan on being together, if they're together in the child's life, that is a nuclear family. You don't need marriage to sustain that. So to force this on, like you need to get married. Marriage is the solution for everything. That is cap, because what is the most negative thing that can fucking happen to a man from getting married? Literally his life can end. What is the most negative thing that can happen from a nuclear family being together and they separate without the institution of marriage? No matter what viewpoints you have, man, the risk is not worth the reward just to be married.
A lot of times in the space is they don't answer the question. So my question is, if we're giving...
But I don't give advice. And that's what I'm saying. Like, my channel is entertainment. So you're saying,
but she does give advice. That's cap. Pearl does give advice. That's what she does. It's entertainment, but it's definitely advice. You advise men and women on dating and relationships, inner dynamics all the time. That's a cop-out, Pearl.
So why don't you give it? But like, that's not what I do on my channel.
Me, if we're two human beings having
so I just want to know what's true, what's untrue. So, and you could say like, and the point is the laws are bad for men. We don't even disagree on this.
All I'm saying is that I just asked you that question as an individual. It's nothing to do with your channel. I was genuinely curious your position.
That's
if you
cap.
give someone advice.
That's cap,
One
bro.
of the
You
biggest things that I do is I want to give men the best solutions to be successful. So one of the biggest things is that when it comes to the fatherhood question, I'm just very curious from a red pill perspective. For a majority of men who want to have children, what are you telling those individuals to do? And if there's no advice, then are they just lost?
Do you think that men should listen to a woman more or a man when it comes to advice?
100,000% a man.
I agree.
I'm not talking. So I'm asking
even
you a
personally,
question.
I'm saying even in a personal situation, I agree. I think men should advise other men.
Yes.
So I'm saying this question's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Because even in person, like I just think men teach men better.
Okay. So
if I can answer, like,
Yeah.
I feel like you do have an answer, and I feel like your answer is very simple. I think it's buyer beware. Just beware of what's going to happen. You don't have to be an advice person to be like, look, before you get married, just buyer beware. I think that's something that you would abide by. I do want to give you credit on one thing, because when she asked the question, if you were going to get into business with somebody and you were going to sign a contract, but then your business partner can basically screw you over and take your business, would you sign that contract? You're like, hell no, I wouldn't sign that contract. I was like, oh, damn, Hafiz, what's up? You got you, right? But then I think the point you made was actually very astute. You said, hey, listen, you don't have to get married to have a kid. You could knock up the girl on the street. It can be your baby mama. It could be a girlfriend. There's a million different things. And the reality is men are having kids. So
I already addressed that, man. Pearl didn't include all of the fucking terrible things that tend to happen to a man when the marriage does not work. The kids are only one slice of the pie. I wish he had said everything, and then the direction of this conversation would have been entirely different. What is Hafiz's goal? You know, I mean, I get it. He wants best for men. So is he trying to say marriage is the best thing for men? Because I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Maybe like 10, 15, 20, no, maybe 20, 10, 15 years ago, maybe, but not today. Not at all today, bro. Like, a marriage is not required for a nuclear family. It's just, if everything is functioning the way it needs to be, it's a loving relationship, the kids are good, you just don't have the institution of marriage immersed in your relationship, what's the problem? Right? Because regardless if you're married or not married, if shit don't work, shit don't fucking work. But if you're not married, shit don't fucking work. It's gonna be a lot less mess taking place because the fucking state isn't involved. The government isn't involved. You can just do what you want to do. You can do what you need to do to figure that shit out. But once you fucking include the state, institutions, and marriage and all that shit, it becomes a fucking mess. And the most victimized party in that situation is the fucking man. So what's the best way to avoid it is be with somebody and educate them on the current structure of how things are. And if they can't see eye to eye with you, it's not the one for you. You know what I'm saying? That's where we are right now, man. The ideals of marriage are declining, year by year. Anyway, man, there's a lot less women that are focused on marriage as well. You know what I mean? It may be like this for men, like men not wanting to get married, it's on a steep decline, right? But for women, it may be more leveled out, but it's still a decline as well. Clearly, women want to get married more than men, but with feminist movement and all that shit, man, like marriage is not as much of a priority for women as it was in the past too. So at the end of the day, bro, the best advice I can give to a fucking man regarding all this shit, bro, is focus on you, get your bag, get your ass in the gym, create as much leverage as you can as possible so no woman can fuck with your fucking system and institution, and they got to get on your page and get gone. That's it. Until the system gets fixed, because the system is not fixed. The system is still based on principles from eons ago. It hasn't caught up to where it needs to be. So as long as it's that way and men are the fucking victim of the current structure of the marriage system, you are signing up to get fucked.